Cory, tell us what is really driving down Microsoft. Is it about the business licensing revenue, the commercial software sales?
You know, I think fundamentally what's happening with Microsoft is a dramatic change from a PC-driven company to what Satya Nadella has been talking about now for his first year as CEO, to a cloud-centric company, and where Windows 10 is going to be a core offering there. The problem is the price of Windows 10 is going to be zero for the first year for users of Microsoft licensed product. What we see from Microsoft is that they're going to be a lot more drawn out in getting revenues from the places where they're trying to grow. So not only is Microsoft Windows 10 going to be free to users, licensed to users of other Microsoft software, it's going to be free on iOS devices, or Microsoft Office, I should say, will be free on iOS devices, tablets, and phones like the iPad tablet. It's going to be offered for free on devices that are 9 inches or smaller. So the Microsoft operating system that will show up on Microsoft-driven phones, whether they're made by Nokia or somebody else, will be free to the other phone makers. So when you give it away, it starts to hurt your revenues and hurt your profits. And we see that from the guidance they gave us during the call yesterday and the vision of the Microsoft of the future that Nadella laid out in the conference call last night.
Right. Well, no surprise, right? You give a lot of price cuts on some of these products, then you are going to get hit on the bottom line. Scott, you say that you really don't think about Microsoft in your operating chief, right?
Well, I have two views on this. As a company, Microsoft is actually irrelevant. So I run a tech company, an internet company, a commerce company, and the companies we think about are Apple and Facebook and Google. And Microsoft's not a consideration. We do not produce our products for Windows Phone. We do Android.
Why not?
Because there isn't enough of a market. And it's interesting is that Microsoft, being, I don't know, what are they, 30 years old, they're now acting like a startup.
Right.
Right. At the beginning, Google gave it away. They didn't have ads, and Facebook didn't have ads for years. And Microsoft, with Windows 10, has no choice. They need to get the penetration of it. And if they're successful, and that's a big if, and you can see why investors would go, I'm not so sure. So Windows 10 is, can we unite all of our products in the cloud, which is different, and can we compete with Google Docs and Gmail and those other kinds of products that are free from the competition? So they've got a big challenge. Right. And you look at the Apple ecosystem, and it's like the phones and soon the watch, and the PCs just talk so brilliantly together. And I think Microsoft can do that. They have great products. The Xbox, you know, if I were Microsoft, I'd probably change the name of the company to Xbox, because Microsoft's kind of like, you really want Microsoft stuff? And, you know, it shows how quickly the tech industry moves.
Right, how quickly it's moved right under Microsoft. And, you know, Cory, we didn't get a chance to talk about this yesterday, but you know, the headlines that Microsoft makes these days on other products like the HoloLens. The HoloLens is kind of an interesting concept, but it's not going to move the needle at Microsoft.
I think Microsoft wants to show that they are at the cutting edge of innovation, and so they show off their HoloLens because Facebook got so much attention with their acquisition of Oculus. But I think that, you know, a lot of what Microsoft is having great success with, and indeed has always had success with, are not the things that interface with the average consumer or business user, but the things that happen in the back end. The problem is they're facing a new kind of competition in the back end, where they're not competing with the old world of technology and expensive software with high margins. They're competing with Amazon.com, for example, and Amazon Web Services, which is very happy to cut prices many times, even on a monthly or even faster basis. In their Microsoft 365 offering, they're having to, for 360 offering, they're trying to go up against Amazon, which is fighting at a much lower margin. You can see that in pressuring Microsoft's results.
Okay.